Very much, Mr. Chairman, and I would remind the Chairman that this is our watch. We are on the earth today, and we have a duty to leave a better environment than the one we found when we were born. I just want to take a moment to remember why we are here today. We're not here because of a conspiracy theory that the administration is deliberately increasing gas prices. And we are not here because of so-called prematorium or a de facto moratorium on drilling permits. That does not really exist. We are here because on April 20th, 2010, a massive oil explosion in the Gulf of Mexico killed 11 people and launched the worst environmental disaster in the history of our country. We all watched as the oil spewed into the water for days and days and days. And for the entire summer, there was nothing we could do but wait and pray. Ladies and gentlemen, we are better than that. Finally, after 87 days, it stopped, but not before releasing 200 million gallons of oil, not before reaching 780 miles along the Gulf, not before devastating the Gulf's commercial and recreational fishing industries, and not before decimating the Gulf's travel and tourism industries, which represent nearly half of the Gulf's economy, generate over $100 billion a year, and are responsible for more than 1 million jobs. We also represent them, by the way. That is why we are here. And we can never, ever, never, ever forget. So thank you, Administrator Jackson and Deputy Secretary Hayes, for testifying today about the administration's efforts to prevent this kind of disaster from ever happening again. We are also here because of recent increases in the price of gas, which has now surpassed $4 per gallon. These increases make it harder for average Americans to get to work and for small businesses to function. I remind members of this committee that they are our constituents. Chairman Issa issued a report today that essentially blames the Obama administration for everything, including higher gas prices. In fact, former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin has been espousing this exact same theory for several months now. The problem is that this theory has been debunked by conservative and industry experts. For example, Michael Keynes, the former chief economist for the American Petroleum Institute, said this, and I quote, "It's not credible to blame the Obama administration's drilling policies for today's high prices." Ken Green, a resident scholar with the American Enterprise Institute, said this, and I quote, "The world price is the world price. Even if we were producing 100% of our oil, we probably couldn't produce enough to affect the world price of oil." End of quote. Chris Lafakis, an economist at Moody's Analytics, said this, "There's absolutely no merit to this viewpoint whatsoever." End of quote. In other words, when you actually talk to experts who know the industry and who know the facts, these arguments are exposed as blatant attempts to score political points with no basis in fact. I also released a report today, and I ask unanimous consent that it be made a part of the official record of today's hearing.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report analyzed what industry, government, and academic experts actually believe is causing higher gas prices. And that is excessive speculation by entities that have no consumption interests in the underlying commodities and that profit by doing nothing more than forecasting price trends. The report's chief conclusion is that in order to make the most significant impact on the lowering gas prices, our primary focus should be on countering the growing impact of energy speculation, rather than simply promoting the oil industry's priorities of increasing domestic drilling. As the report finds, addressing excessive speculation offers the single most significant opportunity to reduce gas prices for American consumers. Experts, including oil industry officials and investment firms, estimate that excessive oil speculation could be inflating prices by 30%, but increasing domestic drilling would impact prices by only 1%, and then only after a decade or more. In my opinion, this committee could have a much more significant and immediate impact on the price of gas if it stopped focusing solely on the oil industry's interests and started focusing on real efforts to help American consumers. Again, I remind our committee, this is our watch. We are on the earth today. We must protect our environment. We must protect the fishermen. We must protect the tourist industry. We must have balance. And so, Mr. Chairman, I hope that you and I can work together in a bipartisan manner to effectively and efficiently conduct an investigation into these issues so that the American people might have relief. With that, I yield back.